Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Today we're making a Trinidadian lamb curry. Now what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today. Now obviously we need some lamb, and I got this from my local butcher. It's about 1.5 kgs. Now we need some black pepper as well as salt. You need about 2 medium onions. I had some left over, so I'm going to use that up. We're going to use some garlic. You need some pimento peppers. You need some cumin, some masala, some curry powder, a couple of tomatoes. You need some water. You need some coconut milk or coconut cream if you can get it. You need potatoes. You need some chopped parsley. You need some green seasoning, so obviously very important in Trinidad. You need 1 to 2 habanero peppers. Make sure you don't pop them, otherwise it will get really hot. And then you will need some chickpeas. Now in the first step, what you want to do, you want to start seasoning your meat and then set it to the side so it can really soak in all those flavors. So we're going to be using the ground black pepper as well as the salt. Make sure we spread it nice all around. And then we're going to take about 2 tablespoons, I would say, of the green seasoning. Now green seasoning is a must do, so to speak, if you cook Trini food, simply because, you know, they love to put it in basically everything that they cook, and it's absolutely phenomenal. You know, I'm actually thinking of making our own green seasoning at some point in time. So when I do, I'm sure I'll make a video of it, and I have a few great recipes from Trinidad how to make that. But obviously if you buy it bottled or if they come in a pack like this, this is totally fine. Alright, so we're going to mix it all, and then we're going to put it in the fridge and make sure that it has a couple of hours to marinate. Whilst the meat is marinating, let's take care of all the cutting. So what you want to do is obviously you want to peel your potatoes, and then what I like to do is I like to cut it in chunks, just simply because it cooks a bit quicker, and obviously you don't have these massive pieces of potato in there later on. Now you can use larger potatoes, you can use smaller potatoes, it's really entirely up to you. And then, you know, we're just going to cut them up, as I said, into bite-sized chunks, and then set it to the side. Now, as I said, we'll be using my Dutch oven today, and I haven't decided quite yet on whether or not we're going to be cooking on my gas barbecue, or we're going to be cooking on that little fireplace that I have for my Dutch ovens. So stay tuned, I'll let you know. Now with the onion, I said I had some left over, but these are kind of like onion rings. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop them up a little bit, you know, and they will really melt down later on in the Dutch oven. And then I'm basically going to be doing this exactly the same with the onion that I'm cutting fresh. Now, as it will be cooking for probably a good, I don't know, hour, something like that, they will cook down nicely. Same with the pimentos. You just want to give them a little bit of a chop. Now, if you can't find them, you can also use bell peppers, but I was lucky enough at the local Turkish supermarket to find these. Pimientos de Padron work as well. You know, they don't really have a lot of heat. The heat will get added on either later on by pepper sauce or by using the habaneros if we pop one of them. But that's basically all you need to do, and they will release a ton of flavor as well. With the garlic, it's fairly simple. Now you can leave them whole. I prefer not to. Just chop them up in a rough way. Now also what we've learned, funnily enough, when we made garlic pork, German garlic seems to be a lot stronger than Trinidad garlic, because we use the same amount of garlic and we had the feeling we were living in a garlic flat a couple of years back. So I'm a little careful with the German garlic when it comes to Trinidad recipes. because obviously you don't want to make it too garlicky and then the taste won't be nice. So yeah, as I said, just chop them up just like that, and again they will cook down nicely in the Dutch oven. Now, as, what I didn't mention is the pimentos. They are kind of optional for this particular recipe. However, you know, I think if you want to have a true Trini dish, pimentos really have to be in it. So, no choice there in my personal opinion. But I've seen recipes where there were none in it. Right, now with the tomatoes, we just chop them up as well into small little cubes. Take out the stem in the back, you know, and then, you know, don't worry about it. I just go like this. I think this is the perfect texture to do it. And lastly, with the parsley, now obviously, yes, you can use the flat one. I like the coarse one. Whatever you get your hands on, I suppose, is fine. But anyways, it will release a ton of flavor into the dish. So, because I'm lazy today, I'll be using my little food processor. So don't feel bad if you do the same. Obviously, if you want to get your knife skills working, by all means, you know, use your chef's knife. Now also with the lamb curry, I know that some recipes call for bone-in lamb because it releases more flavor into the dish. I appreciate that. However, I'm not a person that likes bone in his food, as my wife will, yeah, testify. So I prefer that whatever I have in front of me has no bone in it, at least, you know, if I can't see it, and I don't like picking it out of my mouth. So let's see. Yeah, I think this is chopped up nice enough. So we're going to set it to the side, and I'm now going to start the coals on, yeah, my little cooking device outside. Alright, so I decided to use my Petromax Atago, and there's 30 briquettes in there because I'm using my size 9 Dutch oven. And now we're gonna light it and let that come up to temperature, and then we're gonna start cooking. The Dutch oven is coming up to temperature, and I'm using my Petromax Atago, so we're going to add in a little bit of sunflower oil. Now you can use olive oil as well, but I just prefer sunflower oil because it has a higher cooking temperature. And then we're already going to throw in our onions. And give them a good sear. And likewise, we're going to throw in the garlic. You can tell there's a lot of power in that Dutch oven, but it's also quite a cold day, so hence all the steam. And now we're going to throw in our cut up pimentos. And now we're going to cook out some of that harshness of especially the garlic. About a minute in, we're going to throw in the cumin, the masala, as well as the curry, and give it a good mix. Another minute in, and guys, let me tell you, it smells delicious out here. Make sure you stir it, because obviously all this niceness, you know, all the flavors at the bottom there, and you obviously want to mix it well. And I'm sorry for all the background noise, guys, but we live right next to a playground, so nothing I can do about it. But that's okay. And then what I like to do as well is I like to throw in our tomatoes with all those juices. It really, you know, adds to the flavor. And I know, guys, it's a lot of steam, but what we want to do is, once, you know, all the lovely ingredients have mixed well, we're going to add in a little bit of water. There we go, guys. I hope you can see it, but yeah, I added in some water just to make sure, obviously, it doesn't burn on the ground of the pot, and that all these lovely flavors now mix. And we're going to let that reduce down now, and then I'm going to show you the next step. Alright, guys, next step. Took the meat out of the fridge, so we're going to put that in now. I'm going to give that a bit of a sear, and my wife just came outside and said she feels like she's home. So I guess that's the biggest compliment I can get for a non-Trini to cook this kind of dish. Alright, so what's going to happen now is we're going to mix the meat with all the lovely flavors that have accumulated on the bottom, you know, with the pimento peppers and all the other, you know, the curry, the masala, etc., etc. And then we're going to let that simmer for a little while. The meat is nicely bubbling away, and we're going to throw in our coconut milk. And that will add a ton of flavor to this dish. And then we're going to add in some more water to make sure we braise the lamb. And then for the brave ones, habanero peppers. Just make sure, as I said, don't burst them. The wife has already told me she doesn't want me to pop them. So we're going to be very, very gentle with them. And lastly, we're going to close the lid, bring it up to a boil, and let that simmer for about 45 minutes. 45 minutes later, let's fish out those habanero peppers. Just obviously, as I said, make sure you don't pop them. They've done their job, and I'm sure they've released a ton of flavor. Ooh, this one actually did pop. Let's see if the wife notices. And as you can tell, it has cooked down quite sufficiently, or quite a bit actually. It's actually too much. So we're going to add in some more liquid again, because what we want to do now is we want to add in our potatoes, and it's a great way to stretch that dish in case you're cooking for quite a large number of people. And on top of it, what we're going to be doing is we're going to add our chickpeas to it. All nicely in there. Give that a bit of a stir, make sure everything is nicely coated. And then we're going to close the lid again and cook it for an additional 45 minutes. Let me tell you guys, that smell out here is amazing. I'm waiting for the first neighbor to pop their head around and ask if they can have a try. About half an hour left to go, and what we're going to do now is we're going to throw in the parsley, add that last little bit of flavor to our dish. Give that a bit of a stir. And I know you can use shadow benny as well, but I love parsley in this dish. So we're going to cook this for an additional half an hour. Sorry, not 45 minutes, half an hour, and then we're good to go. And there you go, guys. Another 45 minutes later. Let's open the lid. And look at that. How much again that liquid has reduced. Wow, and guys, the smell is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to ask my wife for a Trini smell test. And then I'm going to put some on the plate. I'm going to show you, yeah, the final product. And there you go, guys. Our Trinidadian lamb curry made in the Dutch oven. And it, as I said, it just smells absolutely delicious. So we're going to dig in now.
Hi guys, so I am Mrs. Toby Barbecue Corner. I know I'm not on here a lot, but I decided to come and say hi today because my husband made an awesome lamb dish that transported me back home, and it was something that I so needed, especially in the cold winters in Germany. And so if you're feeling down and out because of the winter, try this dish. Definitely do try it.
Alright guys, what is there more to say than what Mrs. Toby's Barbecue Corner has already said? I hope you enjoyed the video. It was super delicious. The kids chowed away. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. Please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come. And I hope to see you soon again at Toby's Barbecue Corner.